Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and tonight we're going to paint our Swamp Witch, which is just a hero click that I found that I thought would be good. So I primed her in black, hit her with a white dry brush to show where the detail is, and we have a very specific color pattern we're allowed to use. Somebody who just recently joined the Discord challenged people to use this wilted spinach leaf as a template for their paint job, and this isn't quite as vivid as what he'd posted. That's just what my printer did. I have a Canon printer, and that's the best I got out of it. So this is our color palette pretty much that we can play with. So let's get started. We're going to use the yellows right off the bat. A little bit of that green. And we're going to make our first base coat out of this. So I'm going to get a little bit of water on my brush. And we're going to start in the center areas with that color and do flesh. Now, I wanted my Swamp Witch to look like a beautiful woman. But I feel like anytime you use like a non-natural skin hue, it creates this I call it the Guardians of the Galaxy effect. Where you're like, I think that's attractive, but I'm not sure. If I didn't know that was Zoe Dalzanis or whatever her name is, would I be like, oh, that's hot? Because I know she's hot. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not an expert on such things. Not the guy. We just gotta get this on the table looking good. It doesn't have to be perfect. I am gonna paint her butt cheeks there in skin tone. Personal choice. You don't have to. Okay, now we need to capture that darker green. So I'm going to get that green here. And I'm going to start working the boots. Just the top half of the boots right now. By the way, I'm not like a color theory guy, or nor do I know anything about stuff. So what you see here is just pure playing around, experimentation, trying to make whatever this guy has here from his limited reference art here. Not limited, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm stuck with that stuff. And then we want to do this little leg band in that too. Now I'm going to get this darker green. I'm going to start with the bottom of her boots with that. Well, that's a lot of paint. I'll have to make that work. Too much paint. And then I'm just kind of working it up to where it kind of melds in with that lighter green. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of that, this and that lighter green mixed. Get a little bit of water. I'm just going to carefully drag those together. Meld those into one kind of, blend or whatever, Okay. Now I do want to do a little bit of that on that leg thing there. Okay. Now for the belt part, like the pants and pouches there, I'm going to go straight to this mid-tone yellow. And now that I think about it, I'm probably going to do her little panties portion in the back here and that too. Now off to the side, I'm going to hit this with the air gun. I don't want to mess up my palette here, so. Get my scissors and get a piece of fabric up here to wipe on. Okay. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to take this pinkish color. And I'm going to do these pouches in that. We're going to use that same pink color and do her like bra thing there. I have way too much paint. Okay, and then for the armbands, we're going to do the same. We're going to use this yellow, or this pink color, this magenta or whatever it is. We're definitely in the range of where we need to be. All right. We're going to dry her off real quick. But before that, I'm going to have a little sip of my beverage. Now let's get to work on the hair. So for the hair, I have a darker color here set off to the side. I need water. Water! All right. So let's get a small brush. I'm going to get a, can't think straight. I'm going to get a fractional brush. And using that brightest yellow, I'm going to do some outline work. Now, I have bad arthritis in my fingers, and my hands shake pretty bad. And I've developed some tricks, and they're mostly psychological. One, you see I hold everything with like a big handle, and I get right up on it. But there's a psychological component where I pretend I'm using a pen to trace a line in a coloring book. And that helps me kind of, keep my business together. Keeps my lines looking crisp. Okay, so we need a white to do her eyes, but white wasn't on our palette. And I mean, we could add a red to our palette. I don't think we can really add a white anywhere there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an off-white color. This is called skeleton bone. And I'm going to yellow it up a little bit. So it looks like it can go into our palette. And I'm going to get a little bit of white and lighten it up to that lightest little bit that's inside right there. Pardon me, I ate taquitos and they are coming with a vengeance. And there it is. That's as light as you can really get to stay on in the palette. All right, let's dry her off. I'm going to do it off camera so I don't mess up my palette here. Okay. Now, we're going to be real careful with what we do next. We're going to get a soft, like a plastic bristle brush. We're going to get some of that purple, that pinkish purple color. And we're going to use that on her hair to bring out a little bit of variation in depth, but we don't want to go overboard. And I'm going to get a little bit of that whitish yellow, and I'll mix that in with that pink. This is more of a muted kind of horrible color here. Then I'm just going to touch the bra because there's a little bit of detail on there I wanted to pick up. Now, using my small brush in that darkest red, that like reddish purple there, that we get from the center stem here, there's some veins, and I thought we could try to do something with that veins. So what I want to do, Because I'm just drawing little veins on her flesh before we finish her up. I am pretty pleased. I would like to see a darker green, but I'm not sure how to implement that. Let me see what other kind of greens I have that wouldn't go too far out. I don't want to leave our color palette. There is some darker green here, and I forget how bright that was in the original photo, so we're going to be careful. We're going to be very careful with it. And I'm just going to get this this goblin green, which is just a little bit brighter, not even really darker. And I'm going to mix a little bit of that and that. I'm going to come around the bottom of her feet. And come up here onto her boot. And I'm just going to get a little bit of that green. And pull it onto this band on her leg to create a little variation on there. Okay. Sweet. Let's take a break and do her base real quick. So for her base, I'm just going to use my small brush. And you can use craft paint for this. I'm just going to do the ground. And I'm just going to use this brown here. La la la, painting the swamp witch. So originally I thought that when you first encountered her, she would be beautiful. And then she would turn into a hag. Then I thought about it. What if she just is pure evil but stays beautiful? And you could interpret that in a lot of different ways. You could make that work in mechanics-wise in a lot of ways. For example, maybe female party members are immune to her lure and charm, unless they, obviously if they're a female who's attracted to females, they might not be. But if they're a female attracted to males, maybe they're immune. Or maybe her powers are so manipulative that it doesn't matter what your preferences are, that she just makes you want her. You could do that. Or maybe, beyond that even, it works on people for a certain amount of time and then just automatically kind of wears off. Like certain things will trigger you seeing through the charm. Or maybe you have to pass a save. Or maybe she has to do something in your presence that is just against what you believe is right and wrong. There are probably a ton of different ways you could play that. But you got to decide what's right for you and your group. A lot of DMing is knowing what works for your group. Like, Lady Doom is playing a rough and tumble former gladiator type who's trying to do the right thing with her life now. She's earned her freedom from the pits. She's trying to walk the straight and narrow. And my best friend, Daryl, is playing a human mage who is a little questionable as to how good or bad he might be at times. And my oldest son is playing a Kiwi Backmani, which is a Herringon in my world. And we'll see who else shows up this next session. That's all I know that's going to be there for this session. So anyways, I know that group, and I know the players, and I know their intentions for their characters. So it gives me the opportunity to build the encounter and alter it to fit around them. All right, we're getting there. All right, let's dry her off. Notice I didn't do any real shading or depth on her in an attempt to keep this. And because I did have a plan. And last but not least, to tie it all together, I'm going to use this soft tone. And a crappy brush. And this will mold it all together, I hope. I need something softer to make sure I cover these arms and stuff. Okay, and when that dries, believe you me, I think it's going to look pretty good. We can sneak peek it though. All right, so there's our color palette, and there's our really quick and easy paint job for the Swamp Witch. You can put a little flock on there. I'm not going to. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, check out our website, buy some miniatures, not these, real minis, and check out our Discord, hang out with us, just like the new guy Carpenter who joined today. Give us some ideas. Thanks for watching.